Hello everyone, and the DVD review today is this one called Armchair Cinema. Back in the 1970s, Thames Television did a series of films made for television, a forerunner of what you'd get today. Previously, they also did, Thames Television, Armchair Theatre, which I will be reviewing in my next DVD review YouTube video. These films lasted about 2 hours, and they tended to show them, or they did show them, prime time, midweek, between 1969 and 1980. The first film that they made was, trying to remember, Suspect, made in 1969, that starred Rachel Kempson, whose daughter happens to be the actress Vanessa Redgrave. It was written and directed by Mike Hodges, who would go on to direct Get Carter 2 years later, and then later on Flash Gordon. There's also on the same disc, and it was the second film made in the Armchair Cinema series, was a rumour about a investigative journalist down on his luck, but one time one of the best in the business, going into the seedy world of high society. Michael Coles, who plays the journalist in that, is very good, and he appeared also in Suspect as one of the policemen, alongside George Sewell, and couple of other well-known actors investigating the disappearance of the girl in the film Suspect. So those were the two that I've seen already, and again, rumour, like Suspect, was written and directed by Mike Hodges. And if you watch both of these television films, you can see the similarities and the techniques that are used in Get Carter not long after that. Also, on this disc, on disc 2, there is The Prison and Regan. The Prison is about a magazine editor, a French magazine editor, very successful, whose wife is in prison for a murder, and suddenly his carefully nice little world falls apart. Not the best of the films of the Armchair Cinema. I was disappointed by it. It was based on a book by George Simenon, who created Maigret. But all the actors in it are British actors and actresses trying to pass as Parisians, French people, and it just didn't work for me. The one on here, on the same disc I mentioned, Regan, should be of interest to everybody because it was the pilot film for the Sweeney, and it starred John Ford, as you know, as Jack Regan, and Dennis Waterman as George Carter. It's when Regan requires the services and he teams up with George Carter to form the Sweeney, and how things are changing in the flying squad, which set the standard and the pace for the series to come. So it's worth seeing if you're fans of the Sweeney to see how this original series originated. On disc 3, there's Sea Song with Tom Bell. I haven't seen that one yet, but as far as I know, it's about a millionaire played by Tom Bell, and who goes sailing on his yacht and has a romance with some young woman. I need to check up on that one. And also on the same disc is a film called Where Day Is Done, made in 1975. That is number 6 as far as I know in the Armchair Cinema series. It starred Edward Woodward as a waster, a really boring man who still dreams of becoming a big band musician, even though all his friends and associates and that from his younger days have moved on. And Rosemary Leach is good as his long-suffering wife. And it's interesting to see how a day in the life of one man, how his life can change suddenly and he loses everything. Edward Woodward is very good, and he's backed up by a good supporting cast. all of them women, especially the actress that plays his daughter and Patricia Maynard who plays his mistress. But all in all, good film. And the next one on disc 4 is The Sailor's Return and Tully. Tully was made in 1975, the same year as Where Day Is Done, and the star of that is Anthony Valentine, Edward Woodward's co-star from the television series Callan. In that, he plays an insurance investigator who has to go to Australia to find out his latest insurance case, and he finds himself in totally unexpected situations. It's a good film and I recommend it. I haven't seen The Sailor's Return with Tom Bell, but it's a very good film, raises many issues even today, and I recommend it. So I haven't seen that one yet on the disc. But basically, it's I recommend this DVD. You've got nice packaging on the front of the stars of each of the individual films. Oh, and I forgot one out. There's 2 other films on here I also forgot to mention. In Sickness and in Health, about a young medical doctor played by Patrick Mower and his young wife played by Prunella Ramson, I think her name is. And Charlie Muffin, an espionage thriller. David Hemmings as a spy, like Harry Palmer, down on his luck, but not the best of the films in this disc, like The Prison. I first saw it when it was first shown on television in 1979, and to me it doesn't work. It's silly in places. You've got a bad performance from a really bad, totally over-the-top performance from Ian Richardson, but a good performance by Jenny Linden, she's the only best one in it, as Charlie Muffin's long-suffering wife. Very much a product of the Cold War, dated, but not the best. As the same with The Prison on this disc set. But honestly, you've got nice packaging on the front of each of the characters and all the info, the synopsis, the background of how it was made and what led to what. And if you open it up, got here, you've got, get my information card out. All the 4 disc set, all the relevant information and synopsis and the dates of when they were shown. Between 1969 and 1980. I recommend this if you like film dramas. The only period one is The Sailor's Return. All the others are set in contemporary times, the year and time they were made. So they are going to look dated, but worth seeing if you like good heavyweight dramas. But basically it's interesting to see how armchair cinema has become TV viewing every day of the week in our lives.